I wore a wig to school once, and they said no headgear was allowed.
How did the
spider web
was it
tights.
Obvious that it was a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was
It was
having
a terrible
fun.
wig.
See, this is exactly why we have them on the show, and this is what makes them fun.
You're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Julie Dameron, local veterinarian for over 20 years. I am so excited about my new radio show, Tales and Tips, on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Voice of Stockton, and KXVS Radio. I will discuss relevant issues affecting animals and pet owners today, how to avoid common problems, and how to extend the quality of life for your cherished companions. As a community advocate, I will also discuss important social issues that affect our city. I plan to showcase organizations and heroes who are doing amazing things to help others. Remember to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10, starting soon.
My name is Josh, and you're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
The voice of Stockton and the voice of San Joaquin present Challenge Mode with your host, Ben Sanchez.
Thanks, Gov. Thanks, everyone. This is Challenge Mode Wednesday nights, the entrepreneur show, the only entrepreneur show on the voice of Stockton, KXVS. Thanks for tuning in on Wednesday night, one of the next to last shows of the year. So we'll get right into it. And we have we have a lot of stuff. We have some amazing guests here, and you've probably seen them. If you don't know who they are, you're going to find out who they are. But I bet you everybody knows who these two are. We have Kate and Tori with us. Thanks for coming on the show. And Kate does a lot of stuff. And so we'll kind of talk about how the two of you met. But before we do that, I usually ask the guests kind of your thoughts on when you think about an entrepreneur, what are your first thoughts? What comes to mind?
Like
what do you think when you think about
creativity?
Yeah.
I think one person created it and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's really, and they haven't burnt themselves out on it.
It was an idea that started in someone's kitchen, and then it just grew from there.
Yeah.
Or garage.
Yeah.
And why do you think entrepreneurs are so important to a community or our community, any community?
Well, without entrepreneurs, it's like we wouldn't have, somebody started their first coffee shop, somebody started their first daycare.
Yeah.
Somebody started their first shoe store, somebody started their own herbal vault or vitamin store like Green's Nutrition.
Yeah.
So without people like that, it's like without people in the community, that are entrepreneurs, we wouldn't really have an establishment, or like somebody started selling maybe groceries on the side of the road or something like that, or delivering them. So
right.
it's important.
They've risked a lot.
To get risk takers.
Yeah, risk takers.
There you go. Yeah. So how did the two of you meet? Did you both of you meet through Aikido?
Yeah, we met at New School Aikido.
Mm-hmm.
I started practicing Aikido in 2004, and that's when the dojo was over on
El Dorado.
No, on Thornton Road.
Thornton. Okay.
And we became instant friends, and turns out our dads used to practice medicine together.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And
his dad was the allergist. Mine was the radiologist.
Okay.
So, and at one time I had like this allergy to something, and I called Tori. What do I do?
Help me out.
Yeah.
And so kind of give us a little bit about your your background, from where you're from and kind of what you're up to. What have you been doing?
Okay, I've lived in Stockton since I was 7 or 8. We came from the East Coast, New Jersey. My dad had a friend that lived here in California, so he wanted to move out here. So he was working at one of the hospitals out here. He worked at one of the hospitals out here for like a long, long time, and then moved up, retired. So I started practicing Aikido in 2004. I've always, worked various jobs. I've always been into all natural things.
Yeah.
So, like Aikido, essential oils, and I make candles too. But the coolest thing about Vibes Up is that I met the owner, Caitlin Keat, at a fair in 2008. I had a booth across the way from her, and I kept seeing all these people crowd in their booth with, gemstone bracelets and things like that. So I finally went over there, and I was like, what do you have? So she explained it to me, and I've been really drawn to Vibes Up ever since then, because I'm also into healing arts, like Aikido and Reiki. So I've known about the benefits of Aikido and how it helps people for a long time. So one of the things that Vibes Up has is a renewable energy with plant botanicals and gemstones. So they have these like squishies or plate mats, and then earth mats too. So this is black tourmaline and clear quartz with other gemstones and different plant botanicals with essential oils. So this is great because this you can use to clear out anything that's non-beneficial from your food and drinks, even microwaved foods, waters, and then it'll protect you from the electromagnetic frequencies of electronics. And then if you have pain anywhere in your body, like my shoulder hurts from Aikido.
Yeah.
So you could just put it over the area of pain, and it'll melt your pain. This is what I love about these. My cats, I have 4 cats at home, so I have quite a few of these at home, and I just put them under each cat's dish and their water dishes. And then I have one of these, and I put like anything I eat at home or at the store, I put that under it. It's just dropped on the floor.
Yeah. The energy. And then Tori. Tell us a little bit about your, where you're from and how long you've been in Stockton.
I'm from Stockton. I went to El Dorado Grammar School and the late Bidwell High School, and I went to Delta College and UOP, and I worked as a nurse, registered nurse, and all that time playing Aikido and tennis and music. And what else? And doing some traveling. And now I'm retired, more or less, pretty much, and I teach Aikido at UOP and women's self-defense. And my girlfriend and I have a belly dance band called called Gypsy Flair. And we're putting on a weekend event in August at Silver Lake, Stockton's Silver Lake Camp. We'll have teachers for dance and music, and then in the evening they'll have performances.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So you're both very active, and let's kind of jump into New School Aikido first. Probably, and I think Kate and I might have talked about this, but this is a little bit of my background. Is that when I was a very young age, maybe I was probably 8, 9, I started doing Aikido actually.
Oh, really?
So I when the Aikido school was here in Stockton, because I grew up in Stockton, it was over across from Eden Park, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And so John was my instructor, for several years, and then I think I got to like purple belt or something like that. Yeah, so I went for quite a while. But explain to people that aren't familiar with Aikido, kind of what is Aikido?
Aikido is a way of protecting yourself and not hurting anybody in the process, and just getting back. They go their way, you go there and yours, and that's basically it. It's jujitsu that you would use on a 4-year-old that went a little goofy, or a great grandma who went a little goofy, and you had to subdue her or the child. And so you do so using those moves, but you wouldn't apply them in a hurtful way.
Right.
And you get the same effect. and then you'd take the ladle away or the sharp toy or the knife away from the kid or whatever he's got. And then they don't come looking for you later. There's we don't see in the movies, we see lots of fights and everything, but we don't see the aftermath, because the survivor is going to come looking for you in an ambush, and you can't avoid it. So why put yourself in that position if you don't have to? Being followed is a terrible thing. It's you'll avoid it to all measures.
Yeah.
And if you fight with someone, they're going to want to get revenge on you. But,
That's what I mean.
It's like with Aikido, you just stop you just dissolve the whole situation. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we can go our separate ways. Even police officers in Japan use Aikido. The paramedics, we had one of our instructors that used to teach Aikido to paramedics.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And police officers.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about the philosophy and I'm always interested in that. When I was young, I don't think I really understood it, and I went to the ribbon cutting and heard a little bit about it, and but maybe talk kind of like the history.
The history is this man in Japan he'd learned so many martial arts. He'd seen his parents bullied by the local gangsters, and he said, well, when I'm older, that's not going to happen. So he learned as much martial arts as he could. And to make a long story short, one day his friend and he got into an argument, and he started trying to hurt him. And the founder of Aikido just kept hopping around and evading, and finally the guy got tired and stopped, and he said, what are we fighting for? He goes, I don't know. He goes, well, I'm sorry. Now, back to our lesson. And then he left there, and then sometime around there, another religious friend of his says, why don't you do something good with all that things that you know about martial arts and everything? There's got to be something to do that's good. He said, well, like what? He goes, I don't know. You go figure it out. And then shortly after, he had this experience with his other teacher, and he had a kind of enlightenment. He said, wow, I got it. Nobody can harm me. I know every way to get away and every way to subdue everyone without hurting them. Let's just teach others that's what we're going to do. And teach them respect for even their attacker.
Yeah.
In fact, go further, and after you've subdued your attacker, heal them. Do something like Reiki, where you send positive energy into their bodies and get all the fight out. It's an amazing martial art. Judo and karate, nobody's laughing or joking.
No, it's
in Aikido, you can get flipped over someone's shoulder like a judo throw, and then laugh.
Stand up, laugh.
Because they're not going to jump on you and strangle you.
Right.
And likewise, you can throw them and you giggle, and they bounce up and giggle.
Yeah.
And you do it again.
Well, and it is very different, like from what I remember when I was younger. The thing was, I was always into martial arts films, and so I was in that age range and that mentality of let's learn something cool, right? Or let's do something like that, like in the films.
Yeah,
and
the cool moves.
And then it was like, well, I think my mom discovered Aikido and says, oh yeah, we should try this. But she was always looking for something very non-violent, but also very defensive. And so this is what she discovered.
Who wouldn't if they knew it was available?
Right. And so, but that was the thing. It was kind of like, I don't know if at some point I stopped because I thought, because you're in that mentality of, well, I don't know if this is working for me. But I told a story to somebody recently that later on I have more appreciation for it, because learning more about the philosophy and kind of the different things. I actually saw I think I ran into John years later when I was at EOP. And so I don't know if you remember this or not, but we had the Stockton Was Magnificent on the Miracle Mile.
Yeah.
And someone was doing
The first one?
the
Yeah,
very
we
first
were
one.
out
It may have been
there. Yeah,
John.
we were
It
out
may have
there.
been John on the first
So
one.
you guys were doing
was
that,
on
and
it.
I was actually doing the sound engineer and the DJ on that side when you were performing. And
what a
so
crack
he
one.
recognized me, and I talked to him, and we had
Wow.
this really awesome conversation about, if I still remembered some basic stuff. And I was like, yeah, just kind of like the basic, if somebody throws a punch, you go this way, you turn into it. It was all about turning and moving, a lot of movement.
cool.
Yeah.
And we had a cool conversation. And he's like, but the whole thing is to not even engage in the fight, and so we had like the handshake, that punch or doing that, not even getting into that argument and getting, the emotions behind everything.
Yeah, he did
So, I thought that was really cool that we kind of recognized and remembered each other and still remember that. But do you ever have people that come in with a different idea of what they think Aikido might be, and then come out after they start it like, oh, this was even what I thought it was? Or maybe kids
Oh
that
yeah, it
come
happens all the time, especially the ones who've had karate and
Mm-hmm.
judo, and they're looking to, they want to fight, and they think they're going to just learn a new way of fighting.
Yeah.
and they either quit because they can't hurt anybody,
Right.
it's not cool, or they go through it, and at the end they've mellowed out.
Mm-hmm.
And they've gotten real good. They have that same intensity they'd have from karate, and they turn it into into the Aikido moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first started practicing Aikido, I had come from karate, and I had to stop practicing karate because all that fighting, I mean,
Yeah.
really, it's like when you get like a busted lip because they're like, oh, you got to compete.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
So it's like I always thought you had to be like really rough and things like that. But
Yeah.
then it's like by the time I got past yellow belt, it's like John Smart and Dan Matlock, they were like, oh, you're starting to lose your rough edges.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't sure because it's like it was so different from karate. But then I had a car accident and I couldn't move, and John taught me how to listen to my body. And it's like even like years after that, it's like we'd be standing in class. I always called him senseiism because we'd be standing in class and he would say, he would talk about something and it would relate to something I was going through, even just a few years ago. And I was like, and I always thought, did he jump into my head? And it was just the coolest thing.
He had great lectures.
Yeah.
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 He had a lecture. I don't lecture that much.
No.
And even once he was talking about O Sensei. He always had these great O Sensei stories, and he said, what did he say? He goes, he was talking about O Sensei and how the military men would try and beat him up and how they couldn't touch him. And then he said, and then like right after that, John goes, and that's when O Sensei wrote his song. And we're like, what? We're standing there, and we're looking at each other, and he goes, yeah, can't touch this. He goes, and Hammer stole it from him.
So he would interweave some jokes in with his lectures too, kind of lighten the mood.
Yeah.
And I feel
a lot of charisma.
Yeah, and I feel like that. Maybe that's what people will get when they go in there. It's a very, like you said, it's not as serious, but I mean it's a little more lighthearted. But you still are learning like these really fundamental movements. I always felt like Aikido was energy movements.
Yeah.
Right? You know, directing your attacker's energy into a different direction. You have one instructor that was really good, and I can't remember his name, but you worked with him at the ribbon cutting.
Oh, Nate?
Nate, yeah. And so talk a little bit about some of the people that are now, because the two of you seem to have been involved with New School Aikido in Stockton for quite some time.
Yeah.
But talk about newer people like Nate, if he's newer, like the newer instructors coming in.
So Nate started practicing Aikido about, I think, 15 years ago, and he studied another style of Aikido, and so when I first started working with him, my wrists would get they would hurt.
Yeah.
But he's actually softened up, but it's like he had to learn not to be so rough. So
Right.
so he's pretty good, and he knows like a lot of the high falls. And I learned a different way of doing Aikido from him, which I'm grateful for, because he's a pretty good teacher.
Yeah.
He teaches on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so he teaches adults and kids. So Tuesday, Thursday I teach kids too. So he teaches the older kids, and then he also teaches adult beginner classes, which is he's pretty good, because he's just got like a different way of teaching. It's his class is called the Aikido Fundamentals, so it's pretty good. I don't think there's a replacement for him, but yeah. So and then we have Mark Smith, of course, who's been practicing Aikido along with Tori all of my life. But Mark Smith is great because he's and Fred Scheel, they're both gentle, more gentle and less rough around the edges.
Right. And let's talk about how long has the Aikido school in Stockton been here?
More than 25 years.
Wow, that's incredible. And so
started in John's garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and where, because it's been at different locations. Like when I was doing it was over there, like I say, on the across from Eden Square.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
On the corner of Pershing and Country Club.
Yeah, that's
right across the street from Ronnie's Market is where we are now.
That's where you are now.
Yeah.
The old bank.
Yeah, that's right. It was
air
a bank.
conditioning and heating.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the first time ever.
No, because when we were on Thornton, maybe. But yeah. Well, we moved from Thornton Road to Fremont Street, and Fremont Street was a warehouse, so that was interesting during the summer and during the winter. So, yeah.
What's been your, like, since they've moved to different locations? Is there one that really stood out? Like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed this location, or where you're at now?
Where we are now.
Where we are now is perfect.
It's perfect
because it's down the street from schools. It's a lot of people say. Because I have flyers for Aikido at the Vibes Up shop, so I like to promote local businesses like KXVS. So we had a fair there last weekend, so people are like, oh yeah, you're on Pershing and Country Club. I drive by it there all the time. So.
It's on the trade route.
Yeah, and you guys are in a great spot. You get like a lot of cross traffic. You're close to UOP or like other schools. And so what kind of age range? Like obviously you have the kids. Now the kids, what's the age range of that class?
There's like 3 different kids classes. So there's the younger kids, ages 5, 6, and I think 7, that are Monday nights at 6:30 and Saturdays at 11:15. And then I teach like 8 and 9-year-olds. So that's Monday, Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And then Nate has like 10, 11, 12-year-olds. And that is at, or 9, 10, 11. That's Tuesday, Thursday at 4:30. And then he has adult fundamentals at 5:30 on Tuesday, Thursday.
And tell us about the other most interesting class you teach.
Oh, and then Friday mornings I teach a class for developmentally delayed adults through person-centered services.
Oh, okay.
And that's fun. I mean, I really enjoy that so much because, it's like they have the ability. It's like you may not be able to like explain like, oh, move this way. But visually, it's like you show them, and the muscle memory, it's like they can like remember things, like a technique called first teaching Ikkyo. They can just remember it, and then, or we'll just teach them how to get out of the way, and they just remember it. It's fun. It's so amazing.
What's changed since you've been and you went through as a student to now you're teaching? What do you notice that's different from you being a student to a teacher? Like, what, as you're like teaching, like have you changed your like as a way of how you teach, or are you implementing different things? Or
I guess we all teach a little bit how our teachers taught. So mine's a combination of my first teacher and John Smart, and then I put it together. And no one's going to go over to UOP and contest me, so I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. How about you, Kate? You know,
we have a curriculum for the kids that was developed by John Smart. However, I add in some of the things that I learned from Nate, and like a lot. I have them work on a lot of roles, and then sometimes I'll incorporate a few things that I've learned from Nate that's not overly painful or complicated. But you know, it's just more of the detail. It's like I've learned to like pay attention to more of the detail, and then like with the kids, I'm like into energy work, so everything is energy for me. So it's like I'll maybe take some energy from Vibes Up and then just apply it to the kids. And it's fun. I love it.
So, like, for the audience that doesn't know about some of the things that we're talking about, like for energy, for example, like how would you explain that to somebody who doesn't understand a concept like that?
Okay, everything around us is energy. So, you know, you have to, like, your electricity runs off of energy, but, you know, it's like the ground has energy, your feet, your body has energy. So it's like, it's the... how would you explain it? Like in Japan, they call it ki, which is like universal life force. It's like the force that exists within you, but it's all around us. Your lights, your table, everything.
That's a good. I like that. Do you agree, Tori?
Sure. Yeah. So if someone's coming after you, there's a certain energy to that, and you kind of absorb it and get out of the way and redirect it, and you've taken care of it.
Now, when you're first starting Aikido, what's like the very first thing you learn? Like if somebody was coming into that thinking, oh, we're gonna do this, this, and this, it's probably not that way, right? You're probably learning something very basic.
Moving out of the way.
Yeah, moving out of the way, and first you learn how to sit down without getting hurt.
Yeah.
And then you can throw as fast as you can sit down, sit someone down. They're willing to sit down. And so we encourage people to learn how to do a somersault or backwards or forward as quick as they can.
Yeah.
And as well as they can, so they don't get hurt and make it fun. What else?
Because you're going to be hitting the mat quite a bit, so maybe
and the first ones you learn are just a simple balance.
Rolling.
And then there's another one that's a very simple arm twist, a shoulder and arm twist. Very simple. And then they all kind of build on that.
Yeah.
And then they're all interchangeable. So if you're trying to do one and someone resists and your timing's off and there you feel them resisting, then you switch to one of the others.
Yeah.
One of the other 5 or 6. And if they don't like that one, then you switch to a different one, and maybe it's the third one that makes them fall over, or the fourth one.
So now, for people that are interested in checking out the dojo or finding Tori at UOP, where can they go find info at?
www.newschooleikido.net or 462-8600.
Okay. And then, Tori, your class is at UOP?
Mine is at UOP, yeah. It's basically open to all UOP students and then people helping to teach it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where's that on campus?
It's at the last bastion of Delta. It's on the South Campus gym.
Okay.
The big basketball gym.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice spot too.
Oh yeah, it's big.
And then, how much for kids? Like for 2 kids to enroll? Like how much is that for?
It depends on the age. So they get 2 free lessons, and then like, I believe the youngest kids are $65 each a month, or there's a family plan of up to 4 people, and then the older kids are $75 a month if they if they enroll. But there's also a family plan.
Oh, okay. So then that's cool. So then the kids can go one day, and then the adults can go on the next day, or. Okay, that's
But there's
awesome.
always, the cool thing is that like Mondays and Wednesdays I teach at 4. So we have one of my students, his dad trains. So like I'll teach at 4, and then his dad will come and then participate in class at 5:30.
Oh, okay. So then the parents and the kids can kind of interact together as well.
Yeah, and the parents, like some of the parents like to get on the mat and help out. Like in the younger kids class, it's mommy, daddy, and me, Aikido. So some of the parents get on the mat with the kids. It's fun.
Wow. Okay. So and of course they're at that new location, Country Club and Pershing. Okay. Yeah, the old, obviously everybody knows there's that old bank. Now that is the new school, Aikido of Stockton. And so we're going to jump right over to Vibes Up because, Kate, you've been doing a lot of cool stuff this year and probably even before that with Vibes Up. So let's talk about Vibes. What is Vibes Up?
So Vibes Up has a patent on a renewable energy with like this. Gemstones and plant botanicals, and we've been featured a lot on PBS.
Okay.
This is an earth mat, so we make these in our warehouse in Cameron Park. But that little plate mat that I had earlier, which I don't know,
it slid, the energy slid it down to.
I don't know where it went, but anyway, so the plate mat that I had, you can use that to clear non-beneficial energies from your food and drinks. It'll protect you from the electromagnetic frequencies of electronics, and then. If you have pain anywhere, it'll melt your pain. So this is our medium-sized earth mat. And then you can see here it has therapeutic gemstones of black tourmaline, red jasper, green aventurine, and green aventurine, smoky quartz, carnelian, zeolite mineral, and more. And then over 80 plant botanicals and essential oils known for health, pain support, gentle energy, grounding, neutralizing negativity, and electromagnetic frequencies and more.
So what do you recommend when people get the mat, just to stand on it for a certain amount of time? Or
well, they come in the store, they get a free gift.
Oh,
which
okay.
is awesome.
There you go.
And then what I do is I lead them over to the recliners where we have the earth mats. So they get to experience what it's like to lay on the earth mats. So I have an earth mat at home, and I sleep with it under my sheets.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then when I'm not there, the cats like hog the bed.
They know where that mat is.
They're like, it's mine. And then like, or there's a friend of mine, her husband's a truck driver, so he has an earth mat that he keeps with him when he drives. My dad's always on the computer, so I gave my dad an earth mat. And then the cool thing is hand me this bag. We have some other things that are made of that earth mat material. And one of the things
A bag of goodies.
So we have these eye masks that have that earth mat material in it.
Divine mask.
Yeah. That's nice. It's very comforting to sleep.
Okay.
For sleep. And then this is really cool. So if your feet hurt, these are called Divine Souls, which is this earth mat material.
So you put these in your shoes.
So there's the pattern to cut it out for your shoe size, and it feels so comforting for your feet, like standing on your feet all the time. Or, being on your feet all the time, practicing Aikido. This is something that I highly recommend. We even have flip flops with this earth mat material on them. But these, since it's like not flip flop weather. You cut these out to your shoe size, and then you can wear them in any shoes. And they're still new, so they smell really good.
Oh, there you go. So you got the Divine Souls, obviously for your feet.
And then we have, so right now, cold and flu season, we have these comfy bands that have that earth mat material in it. This one's for cold and flu. So
you have a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ones. There's comfy bands that have the earth mat material. This one one of them that I'm wearing is specifically for cold and flu.
Okay.
So a friend of mine felt like she was getting a cold, so I said, "Come over buy a cold and flu bracelet." So she came over. She kept it on, and she didn't get sick, so she felt a lot better.
I think the one you gave me was "I'm Health."
Yeah,
and that I don't have it on now, but I usually last time I saw Leslie, I was like, "Hey," and you got that Vibes Up."
Yeah,
and she had hers on too.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Gov has his on. Now, what's yours say, Gov? Does yours have something on your?
Yeah, the password on my.
What's the password? What does that say?
This is pain support.
Pain. Okay, so let's talk about what is pain support.
Well, could I just, you know what? Explain it because I want to know about it, but I want to say a little something about it.
And then you can tell your experience
Yeah.
with pain support.
Okay, so there's different themes of the bracelets, but the pain support is the formula specifically for supporting a person in pain.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have a friend that came in the store and she said she always has pain. So she got a pain support bracelet and
Mm-hmm.
she said that her pain went away.
Wow. So let's talk about your experience, Gov. How long have you been wearing this?
So they look the same. All the stuff looks the same, but
The
you
black
know,
bands, the comfy bands.
but when mine was new, I could smell it more. I could still smell it. So tell me what's happening here. What is this that I'm smelling, and what is in this earth band?
Mm-hmm.
So it has over 80 essential oils that are known for pain support, and then different gemstones like black tourmaline and clear quartz. So what happens is with this material, when it dries, it causes the quartz and the tourmaline to shrink. So when they shrink, the two of them together act like a battery. So the black tourmaline takes out anything that's non-beneficial, while the clear quartz adds it in. So, and then what you were smelling is and then there's the oils and everything else in there specifically to provide you with pain support. So that's why you feel so good.
Yeah. So I've had this thing going on in my elbow, and sometimes it seemed kind of serious, like, wow, man, if I straighten my arm too much, and so like I've been, studying on it, and I talked to the doctor and I said, oh yeah, you just got to nurse that thing back, and yeah, you really messed it up. And so it was bothering me for a while, and it was taking a long time to heal, and I'm thinking like, dang, what is this? Is this permanent or whatever? So like literally, I'm serious. I'm wearing it right now, and you're like, why am I wearing it? Because like the day that I put it on, like 15 minutes later, I'm serious. 15 minutes later,
cool.
And I was like, is this like, I don't know, man, I don't know. It just, that was too coincidental. So I'm rocking the Vibes Up pain support. I keep the pain support pointed towards me, so I guess I'm inadvertently, but probably very cleverly, showing off
Vibes up.
Yeah.
Vibes up. So I want to know more because it seemed to me like very significant, and the insole sounds really cool. I think that it's a holiday season, and many traditions during this time of year give gifts. This kind of gift is kind of really something that will, well, as far as I'm concerned, my experience, and I'm hearing anecdotal evidence, being presented, and so I'm not endorsing this product because I just tried it and it was like, whoa. So it really worked. I thought it was cool. It smelled great. It was kind of this interesting smells, and I was like, oh, there's some aromatherapy happening here, right? I'm being
aromatized.
Yes, I'm being straight up, converted to the, earth mat aromatherapy guy, because
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and now I have taken it off. So it isn't like when I take it off, the pain is back, but I keep wearing it because I think I'm healing, and I think it's what I believe is happening. And this is just, now this is my opinion, that I feel like that my body is stimulated to heal. And I feel like immediately what happened was when I put this thing on, I think my body started paying attention to it. And was like, hey, that thing that's been bothering us, let's kind of work on that. And so that's what I thought was going on. And that was just me just trying to pay attention to my arm and seeing what happened. And so I think it's great. I'm glad you got a store here, and I'm going to come by, and I think it's a good place to stocking stuffers at least.
Yeah, there's
so many things.
There's so many things.
And again, I'm sorry for even presenting it that
okay.
way. I'm not, like I say, I'm not saying go spend money with Vibes Up, and that's on you. But I think it's really cool, and I'm convinced myself, and I thought I was really, really impressed by it.
So so if you go on YouTube and you type in Vibes Up PBS, there's a video of Caitlin, and she explains that every 60 seconds, your blood passes by the bracelet, and so your blood picks up on that whatever theme that you have, like courage or pain support or abundance or cold and flu.
Yeah.
So it's like you're sending that signal through your body, which is great. And I'm so happy for you that it really helped.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was really cool. You know, I was mystified, and so I was like, "There's got to be something to it." So I did some looking up, and that's when that's when I discovered. I thought, Kate, you came up with Vibes Up. You know, I didn't know that it was a
franchise.
Yeah,
it's a family-owned business.
Yeah.
It started by Caitlin Keat. And I met her at a fair in 2008, and I had a booth across the way from her, and I was so drawn to all the beautiful bracelets. And we have like different bracelets with different themes. So it started with the crystal coating, and we've won 11 Visionary Awards.
Yeah, and you have something for, every person. Like you said, you've got like the cold, the pain relief, the cold and flu. This one's courage. There's balance. This is abundance. So each one of these is doing something a little different.
But like, don't everybody want all of that stuff? Like,
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
What are you gonna have? Like 12 bracelets?
Yeah. We have some that are all in one.
Oh.
There's even clarity. So
yeah, there are a couple like mixtures.
Yeah.
we have one. So we have these brochures, and I was reading it one day, and a lady said that she picked up a clarity bracelet, and she noticed that her piles of clutter had started to disappear. So I was like, I'm buying the clarity bracelet for myself. So this was before our Stockton store opened, and we have a store in Placerville. So I got home from Placerville like 9 o'clock at night and decided to tackle my spare bedroom. So I cleaned everything out of my spare bedroom.
Wow.
Had this like whole pile of things to be thrown out. Was like up till like midnight, and finally I was like, now my spare bedroom looks nice, and I can repaint it with our Vibes Up paint additive, and then I can just add cool Vibes Up things in there and make it into like a little meditation room where I'm surrounded by nice Vibes Up products. And then there's these cool coasters that we make in our
coasters.
warehouse.
Wow. So check these out.
Yeah, so that looks like the bottom of the
At the bottom of
yeah.
the bottle, yeah. Right. And let's talk about the bottle as well.
Okay, so also in the warehouse we make these cool bottles with a nice butt. So these bottles have the earth mat material in them. And what it does is this is our this is a mug. So this is for hot water, coffee, cocoa, tea. So it'll change the taste. It'll take out anything non-beneficial. So it changes the taste of your water,
Wow.
or your tea or coffee. So these are great, and these are buy one get one free, or buy 4 get 6 free.
Whoa.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's a good deal.
Fun for the whole family.
Yeah, and then.
you got a big family, so that might work for you, right?
Then there's different coasters. I am love. I am abundance. These are cool. And then
So then you put like a glass of water or something on
water.
these? Yeah.
Whiskey.
Cat's dish.
Whiskey? Oh,
Whiskey.
okay.
Yeah. And then these are very popular. We have
Oh, the beanies.
the beanies. On the front, it's got this clear material to help open your third eye, and then on the sides, even in the back.
Oh.
The earth mat material. These are popular sellers. These are great. Yeah. And these are $12.99. These are awesome.
Oh, okay.
I love everything about Vibes Up. And then, for the ladies, the nice pendants with the crystal coating. There's the one to balance your chakras, the amethyst teardrop. That's pretty. I like them all. People
There's
come
so
in.
many.
Yeah, people come in and they're like, I love your enthusiasm. I love how passionate you are.
Yeah.
But I've been a huge fan, and I've noticed like a difference in my own things. Like so before Vibes Up, the store opened, we had some products at New School Aikido, and one day somebody was like hurting, so I said, "Here, take this squishy, hold it over you, and it'll help." And so they just sat there with the squishy over their stomach because their stomach started hurting. Within like 10 minutes, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. It's the most amazing thing. I love it.
So, and did you have a lot of these featured? Because I know the new School of Keto just had a holiday fair
Yes.
with different vendors. So these were featured there?
Yes, so I was there. I had a booth there with Vibes Up, and it was really successful. I have a friend that's been in pain, and I had been thinking about her a lot. So she picked up a pain support bracelet. So hopefully that'll really help.
We'll check in.
Yeah,
you got to check in and find
check in with her
and find out, because these testimonials I think are incredible for what's going on at Vibes Up. Now let's talk about, you brought this checkup, what kind of looks like a little gamepad thing.
Yeah.
But explain to us kind of what it is and how it works.
So we have these different themes of bracelets, either in the comfy bands or these nice gemstone bracelets, which are buy 2, get 1 free, or buy 5, get 5 free. So you take your non-dominant hand and you hover over each piece. So when you go over each piece, you notice that they have a crystal coating over them. So you might feel like a pull or a tingling or a warm sensation. So you might feel it more than one. So like this one, and then this one. So
and it'll tell you
Yeah.
which one. So that's energy and motivation. That's abundance and prosperity. This is health and wellness. So this and people can come in and kind of gauge like where they're at when they kind of and you just kind of hover over things until you find something that that'll resonate with you. Nothing's quite resonating with me, but
it's fun.
like when you first did this, how long did it take before you're like, oh, yep, there it is?
I guess because I'm
or maybe because you were using it before, right?
Yeah,
you were using the
because I've known Caitlin since 2008. So for me, it's like I notice a difference right away. But I'm really sensitive to energy.
And that could be the Aikido, right? I mean,
it's her Reiki. She has Reiki.
I'm also attuned to Reiki.
Okay,
so.
well there you go.
Yeah.
And then how long have the Vibes Up store just opened? 2-3 months ago?
October 23rd was the official opening date, and in Stockton we're located at 2051 Pacific Avenue on the corner of Pacific and Doris Place.
So they're right here on the mile. If you know where Coco Rose is, they're literally just right down across the street.
Between Kokoro and the Korean barbecue.
Oh, fantastic! Both
Both
places are
places, yeah.
Both places are great.
Yeah.
Yes, don't be hungry when you show up. Oh man, you'll be powerless.
I always go either one or the other.
Yeah, I know. They're just like there's so amazing
it's cool
food.
'cause we get,
I wonder if they're feeling like the vibes, right?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, something's going on.
We get a lot of people that are like waiting for their dinner reservation and just pop over to our store. It's perfect. I'm like, hey, come in, have a seat, stay as long as you like.
Have a drink.
Yeah.
They're like,
a drink.
Yeah, they're like, how much would you charge us to stay the night?
Yes.
And Kay had a really cool story.
The hourly charges.
She had a cool story before we came in the booth about somebody had their dog.
Oh yeah, this was really cool. So Caitlin has 2 dogs that work at the Placerville store with her, Butters and Quinn, and Butters is so cool. He'll bring products to people. So yesterday, a lady came in with her dog, and she was looking at the windows and looking at the displays, and she was really curious, and so I opened the door and I said, "Come on in." I said, "We love animals." So I don't know why we said we, but probably just meaning all of us. But,
Yeah.
So I said, "Come on in." So I had her sit down on the earth mats, and at first her dog was shy and timid, and then after sitting on the earth mat for a while, she got up and her dog was like a little bit more relaxed, and then she started looking for products, and so she came up to the front of the store where we have a display of like dog pet charms. So she picked up 2, and she asked her dog, which one do you like? So the dog chooses the green one, and the dog puts it in her mouth. and she would not let go of it. It was the coolest thing. It was so funny. So the lady has to like pry it out of the dog's mouth so she can pay for it. So and then she starts looking at bracelets, and then I said to her, well, you know, we have dog collars. So she said, oh, she needs a new collar. And then this other lady she'd been talking to said, oh, I think this small one would fit her. So I put the dog collar, and the dog collar has the earth mat material in it, and it says, I am happy. So I put the dog collar around the dog's neck, and instantly, in like a minute, the dog's energy just completely changed. She's like cool. Completely happy, wagging her tail, you know, running circles around me, going behind the cash register, going, yeah, this is great. So then I tell her owner, I said, well, you know, we have a matching leash too. So she said, oh yeah, she needs a new leash. So I pick up the leash and I point it at the dog, and the dog takes it in her mouth, and she would not let go of it. It was the coolest thing. So even animals love Vibes Up. My cat, she has the Vibes Up collar. And she used to be the most indecisive cat. Like she had anxiety, like severe anxiety or something. So she'd go outside and she'd be like, 5 minutes later, like, no, I want to come back in. So she's sitting there meowing outside. And I'd open the door and she'd be like, no. So now she's like, okay, I'll go outside. I'll stay out there. And then I'll go, do you want to come in? And then she'll go, yeah. So now she's not indecisive like that and anxious. So, yeah, there's really a lot to Vibes Up in our
So what did the cat callers say? The dog calls it I'm happy. What does the cat call say? I'm chill.
Yeah. they all say I am happy or I am healthy.
Oh, okay.
But I think hers says I am happy.
Well, because I was thinking, like, you know, I mean, dogs like to get new stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get happy about that. But, you know, like, I was thinking, like, you know, I read pain support when I put it on there. I was like, oh, let me see that one, right? So maybe there was a little bit of that, right? But I don't know about this dog and how well it can read, right?
Right.
So
that makes it interesting.
So, I mean, like, now I can see it says I'm happy. I can be like, dog, I really want you to be happy. But that's just kind of funny. That's just kind of, because I had thought about that, like, dang, it says pain support. Like, what if somebody secretly put it, like, in my pocket? I'm like, dang, what's going on, right? Then I would really, you know, it would have been a great blind test, you know, like to make sure I wasn't, like, you know, helping it with my desire to be, you know, the dog, I guess, you know, could have wanted to be happy, though. It was like, new collar. Could be that, too.
Or the effect. But the funny thing is that
we need a control group.
Yeah. When she came in the store, the dog was curious, and the dog was already looking around, smelling things that
we don't.
It's like she know they know. It's like animals know. Like, you know, it's like if
something's
you have
going on,
if you have cats and you're around somebody that you know, they know that somebody's not good, then they'll just stay away.
Right.
Or like if they know somebody's good, then they're going to come out and go, "Hi, I know you."
Right. or like, you know, they're famous for like having premonitions of, like, you know, earthquakes and storms and stuff like that. You know, they start acting funny, and then, like, there's like a crazy thunderstorm tonight. You know, or they start, you know, acting, you know, like birds. I think especially, I believe, you know, before earthquakes, you know, they're like, you know, just, you know, going
most
crazy.
Animals freak out.
Right. So they sense these ultra low frequencies, you know, these you know, these waves that we can't hear, but, like, you know, elephants used to, like, talk to each other from like 30 miles away, you know, like, hey, you know, is there any water over there? You know, like, no. Like, thanks. I mean, 30 miles, this is a long trip for an elephant, right? You know. So, like, you know, this is like real science. Like, I mean, I know it seems really cool and it's kind of flashy and it's fun, but you know, I felt like the more I looked into it, the less, you know, convinced I'd be. But, you know, the more I looked into it, I was like, wow, that really makes sense. You know, like the mat, like, you know, like when we think about crystals, like, you know, and the energy that they have in it, like, you know, it could seem a little hokey, right? Like, you know, oh, you know, are you primitive? Like, really, like, looking to this crystal for power? But, like, the fact is, like, look at everything around us, like that screen behind you and these lights. You know what these LCD stands for? Liquid crystal display. Okay, so like quartz is what they use to keep the timing in the computer, and you can and all data is stored on crystal. You know, of some form or another, some sort of construct. You know, that's based, you know, You know, and not all data, but data is stored on that. And like even when you used to like record things on tapes and have data tapes, they would have iron magnets, and they would manipulate the iron on the tape into these forms and shapes. So all this stuff that we use for technology is based on these minerals.
Yeah.
And using these minerals in such a way, and we recognize how powerful it is. I mean, right now, everyone who's listening to us is listening to like earth mineral power. It just sounds like, well, okay, let's normalize what earth mineral power is, right? Like, wow, it's what makes our world.
Earth mineral power.
Yeah, let's do it.
Earth mineral power. That's
Earth mineral power. Yeah, they got to rock.
Yeah.
They got to rock.
So. They rock so hard. So earth mineral power, is what makes our whole world happen.
Yeah.
So let's just keep it real. We think about technology and wire and power. That's like copper. And for many, many millennia, gold was worth something. And gold was worth something. And we're like, what's it worth something? Man, it looks hecka dope, right? Like, well, what is it for? Like, now we use the number one use of gold on Earth is not jewelry. It's for technology. It's for coating things that transmit, either energy, power, or information, and like computers, they need to work really, really fast. They can have gold and stuff in there, and these earth minerals, silicone, all that stuff is what makes computers work, and solar cells, right? The solar, I'm just really throwing it out there, but I'm just saying, like, this thing really got me, and it made me start looking this stuff up. So I'm just sharing you what I learned.
Yeah.
So, like, the people who used to work in the data industry, or like who made hard drives, you remember when you were like, oh man, that's 128 megabytes. Boy, that's a big thing, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 128 megabytes. Like, it wasn't that long ago. It was like 10 years ago or something. It was like, 120 megabytes. Yeah. Oh man, that's pretty good. Now it's like, are you kidding? That's like a picture or something. What are you talking about? Yeah. like that is one like really dope picture. So without lots of detail. But what I'm saying is, these people who worked on that industry, now they were the ones working on solar industry, and the reason why they work on that transfer is because their ability to understand how these minerals and stuff work. And so this is really like legit. And I'm blown away, and I'm glad that we got this opportunity to check it out. And I think that if it's just nothing, that doesn't cost you anything, you just go, man, that's a cool thing.
Come in and get a free gift.
Yeah, come on in. They're right down. They're literally one
around
block.
the corner.
Yeah, around the corner.
Or look it up for yourself and check it out and see, and see if it's worth it. But not telling you to go, but just saying that I'm going.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is with this too is that there's signs in the store where Caitlin's had things tested, like our all natural deodorant that's got like the crystals and the earth mat material in the bottom of it. So that's been scientifically tested. And then the water bottles, it shows like we did an experiment with the plate mat, and we froze a glass of water, so one with the squishy and one without. The one with the squishy formed the most beautiful vortex, and then the studies show that it actually the Vibes Up imprints life patterns of life back into water too. So she has everything tested in Ireland.
Oh no, man! I feel like we should have a mind-blown sound effect.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I mean, like I said, check it out. I think it's quite interesting because, here's what I look forward to right now, because we have our world is kind of like, there's some ups and some serious ups and some really serious downs going on, and we got all sorts of awful stuff happening, and there's stuff to be worried about. And so we we're focused on those things too. But what also is happening is with technology, we're learning about stuff. And we're learning a lot about stuff that we thought we knew everything about, And so it's really great, because this is the kind of stuff, like when we're talking about going to space and we're talking about being able to travel to other planets, and we're talking about that, NASA and scientists, they're studying, this phenomena, and how, long-term energy, like to travel large distances, it doesn't have to be like a whole ton of energy, but it has to be like a constant rate of energy. So there's a lot to be learned on this planet. And it's, of course, we need to like try to make sure that we're still here to learn it, and all that other good stuff. But I'm just saying, like, check it out, study it. There's a lot of information on it, and I would encourage you to learn about it.
And stop by the shop because there's ton. You can get the free gift, and you can try out a lot of things. Obviously, very knowledgeable about each thing, and you've heard some of the experiences from people that have gone in there too. So we are going to wrap up the show for tonight. Thanks, Kate and Tori, for coming in and talking about a lot of health and wellness, tag teaming up for New School Aikido Stockton. What's before we go, what's on the horizon for New School Aikido?
We have a seminar coming up with John Smart in February.
Oh.
And then...
is that at the dojo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe he's coming February 10th and 11th, I think. And then we're always enrolling new students.
Mm-hmm.
So come on out and try it.
Yeah.
2 free lessons.
There you go. 2 free lessons. You can check it out. Of course, that's over on Country Club in Pershing. And then what's coming in for the new year for Vibes Up?
So we just came out with Vibes Up light bulbs.
Whoa.
Vibes Up carpet salt. Vibes Up paint additive with crystals. So if you come into our store, the walls have crystals in the paint.
Okay.
We've got coffee coming out.
That's right. You mentioned this was mushroom coffee?
Mushroom coffee.
Yeah.
Oh.
From
So
Oaxaca.
these are 2019 big things.
From Oaxaca.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The Oaxaca.
So
Now I got more to study.
Yeah,
And
more,
then, of
more
course,
stuff to get.
The new
Can you
Vibes
imagine?
Up mugs. These are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double insulated. This is small enough to fit in your car cup chart.
Cool stuff.
That's it.
Yep.
And so we keep on the lookout for those. Of course, we've got all the items and the pages tagged in the description. So in case you wanted to check them out, we got the New School Aikido Stockton tagged in the description for their Facebook page, and of course Vibes Up as well. And of course, you can always message Kate or Tori on Facebook if
Yeah.
you needed more
Yeah.
more info on that. But don't forget, you can always tune in later on Facebook in case you missed us. They're always, all the playlist videos are available on the Voice of Stockton, KXVS, your community radio station. Thanks, Gov, for being here. Thanks for letting us do the show.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for having us.
Domo arigato gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
We'll catch you next time.
Years from now